Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to Chatting It Up with Debbie T. Welcome my poo-poos, welcome my pookies, and welcome my beautiful people. Welcome guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my beautiful cousin Natasha, and she's gonna share just a story of what she's been through, a heart condition. She's been through a lot, and she wants to share her story with someone, maybe to help whoever is watching this video. So Tasha, go ahead and tell us about your heart condition.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Well, I was diagnosed with postpartum cardiomyopathy in the year 2000, which basically is that when I had my son, I got sick with a heart condition. My heart got weakened. I didn't have any kind of clogged arteries. I didn't have any kind of anything that dealt with cholesterol or the foods that I was eating. It was just the muscle itself got weak. As years went on, I was trying to go through a whole lot of things to make it better, but it never happened. It never transpired to me getting healthy. So for a number of years I was stuck having the heart condition that gave me congestive heart failure as well. So with congestive heart failure, you got fluid that's building up in your heart, and unfortunately it can spill into the rest of your body, making you swell, making it hard for you to breathe. So I dealt with that for a number of years, and literally close to the end of certain things I was actually able to reverse it, which was my best thing that I ever was able to do for myself. And so unfortunately some of my things that happened where I got really sick, not necessarily due to the heart disease, but it wound up affecting my heart, which made me wind up having a heart transplant.
Okay, so Tasha, you said you did some stuff to prevent it. Did you just say you did some stuff to prevent it?
To reverse it, yeah.
To reverse it, sorry. So what did you do?
So basically what I did was, I had a lot of times when I went into congestive heart failure. One of the things that really scared me is I had a defibrillator for my heart, and it went off on me at the airport when I was taking my son to put him on a plane. Long story short, my defibrillator shocked me about 8 times in a row at the airport, and I wound up having to go to the hospital. I had what was called like a PTSD from that, where everything is like a phantom shock that I was getting. So even though the defibrillator wasn't shocking me anymore, it wound up being that I just felt like I was, and I probably went to the emergency room like 11 times in 2 weeks. Okay. So because of that, I was too scared to move. I was too scared to do anything. So what I decided to do was change up how I was eating, and I was eating vegetables, mainly vegetables.
Okay. I'm so sorry, not to interrupt you. That's what I was going to ask you about too, like what kind of food did you eat? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Tasha.
So what I did was I started to eat vegetables, and what I did was I made my vegetables more of my main dish.
Okay.
And so that happened in June of 2012.
Okay.
By the time October of 2012 came about, mind you, I wasn't running, walking, dancing, doing anything.
Oh, wow.
I had lost 25 pounds just from what I was eating.
Wow.
And my blood pressure went low. So I had always had high blood pressure from the time that I had my son. The doctors kept trying different medications.
Okay.
None of them worked.
Okay.
So just by switching out the meat for the vegetables, not giving up the meat, but just changing the way I was eating it, made it so that everything that I had, except for the heart disease in full, went down.
Okay.
So that was one of the things that I did to reverse it. In 2014, I enrolled myself into the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and when I went there, I learned a whole bunch of different things, and how it's not just what you eat that can affect your health, but also the stress levels around you, the people who is around you.
Oh, wow.
The work that...
Wait a minute, you heard what she said, the people that are around you.
Yes, the stress levels, work environment, family, even your children.
Wow.
So I had to learn how to take those stresses and make sure that I was putting myself first.
Okay.
So I started to do more things like walk.
Okay.
I wasn't big time exercising, walking, maybe jump roping.
Oh, wow.
But that was about it.
So how long did you walk for? You walked every day?
At that point in time, I was walking probably a mile or two a day.
Wow.
A mile or two a day.
Okay.
And then the worst thing that could have ever happened in 2014 is that I had a bad heartbreak, and I got broken heart syndrome, which is a real thing.
Wow.
And broken heart syndrome actually is another form of cardiomyopathy. So now I got two forms of cardiomyopathy
Wow.
in the same heart. So unfortunately, that put me into a place where when I was thinking that I was okay, I
Okay.
really swore I was okay. I'm like, you know what? That man did whatever he did. I'm cool. I'm fine. Well, my body was fighting for months and gave in, and my heart function went very, very low, and I was in the hospital. And so when I was about to come out of the hospital, that doctor told me I was going to need a heart transplant.
Wow.
So back then,
Wait a minute. So I want you to talk about your heart. Can we talk about your heart transplant?
well, this is the first time, so
Okay.
I'll definitely get into it.
All right. So definitely get into a heart transplant. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first time around when the doctor told me that I was going to need a heart transplant, I looked at him like he was a fool, and I'm like, oh no, 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 that is not going to happen. So what I did was, I said, well, you go by my terms on this one. I said, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to work out, and by the time we have our next checkup, we'll see what we need to do.
Okay.
This was in March. I walked, and I had a 24-hour IV to help my heart.
Wow.
So I walked daily. I ate. I still hadn't become a vegan yet, but I ate even more vegetables than that first time.
Okay.
My breakfast consisted of, say, a smoothie with spinach, pineapple, whatever. But every day it had something green.
Okay.
My breakfast would be like scrambled eggs with spinach or kale or callaloo. Whatever I can get to go with the eggs, I'm going to put it with it.
Yeah.
Right? For
So
lunch,
you ate eggs every day? Seemed like it.
almost.
Okay.
Or I ate something different, but it was something green.
Okay.
I came up with the slogan, something green at every meal.
Okay.
So for lunch, I'd have a salad, and I'd have it with a sandwich, or I just like slice up some chicken and put it with that.
Okay.
And then for dinner was a regular dinner. I didn't change anything about my dinner.
Okay.
So if we were gonna eat, curry chicken and rice and peas, that's what I had for dinner. I wasn't about to change up what I was having for dinner. And even in that time frame, I lost a good amount of weight, even though I had lost weight in the hospital. But I lost a lot of weight, and I was building up my strength.
Okay.
So by the time September came around, I actually got the Milvanone taken off of me. I no longer had to have the IV for 24 hours. And I was out of the woods of needing that heart transplant. So that was 2015.
Okay.
I was fine for 2016, 2017. And it was really an enlightening experience.
Okay.
Because I had been told by my doctors that I would never be able to reverse that.
Oh wow.
I was told that once I was sick, that was it. And so I was doing well for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
The transplant you're talking about that I had to have was because we had mice in the house, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
And I got an infection from the mice.
Wow.
And it put me into septic shock.
Wow.
And the weakest link, of course, was my heart.
Wow.
All of my organs were
And this
pretty much
happened
failing.
when? Let's tell
This
the
was
audience.
in August of 2019.
Okay.
August of 2019. So I got really, really sick. But my body was trying to fight it. Like, even though I had heart disease previously, my immune system was not horrible. I had a really good immune system. So during that time period, and I believe it was about November, December of 2018 through, I want to say June of 2019, my body was fighting hard not to make me have to have an illness. I didn't know what was going on. The doctors told me it was my gallbladder. The doctors told me it was my heart.
So the doctor didn't know what was going on?
They didn't know what was going on. At least not up here at Capitol Health Hospital.
Okay.
They didn't know exactly what I was going through.
Okay.
According to them, it was my heart or it was my gallbladder, because those are the numbers that reported low on my test. They didn't test me for anything else.
Oh, wow.
So they had no idea. So I got to the point where I was too weak to walk by myself. My son was helping me to go in and out of the bathroom.
Okay.
I wasn't telling anybody how
You were
ill
feeling.
I was. No. I couldn't do that because
You didn't want anybody to worry, especially your mom. And you know your other...
especially my grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had just lost my cousin, Chantel.
Yeah.
We had just lost her the year before.
Okay.
And I couldn't put her through thinking that she was going to lose me. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, my mom had enough of me being sick for 3 straight weeks. Went to the hospital. They were going to send me home on hospice. A doctor told my mom I didn't belong there. So that's when I got sent to Camden and then sent to Philadelphia. They figured out everything.
Yeah.
And it was too late. My heart was at its weakest, and even though they tried to make me come back to normal, the minute that I started to move around and walk,
Yeah.
it decided that it couldn't handle it. So I was placed on a balloon pump for about 3 weeks, and then had the transplant.
Wow. So Tasha, I want you to tell the audience, how are you doing now? How are you feeling? How you doing?
Now I'm
Okay.
doing very
In the
well.
pandemic. So this video right here is surviving a heart transplant. And that is my topic. I didn't say my topic, but that's it. And I wanted you to tell the audience, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well now.
Okay.
I'm doing so much better than I had been, even when I reversed my heart condition. Because remember, I was still dealing with a heart that had been sick. I'm able to do things that I didn't think that I'd be able to do, like run. I can run.
Okay.
I can still do the exercises that I was doing before, because my whole thing was, I grew up dancing.
Oh
So
yeah, you know, in our family, we are dancer. We love to dance. Go ahead, girl.
I was always on the move,
Yeah.
always doing something, always
I
working
forgot
out,
you were a
always at
yeah,
the gym.
It's true.
Always.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. If they told me I couldn't do it, I'd do it just to prove to somebody
Yeah.
that I could do it.
Yeah.
So now I'm at a point where, and it's funny because I'm scared to do things now, but I know I can get it done.
Yeah.
So I can do things like push-ups. I can do things like a quick run. I can do things like brisk walk. I can walk.
So after
now.
this video, we're gonna do a race. You and I. You saw how the Jamaicans won at the Penn's relay. No.
Yep.
Not the Penn's relay.
Not the Penn's relay.
What is it?
The jewels.
The Olympics. Oh my God.
It was the jewels and the Olympics.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that later on. But anyway, continue, girl.
Yeah. I'll be Elaine. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God.
You can be Shelly.
Okay.
So it's just amazing everything that I'm able to do.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing for me was that the recovery period was hard.
Okay.
I'm normally quick and back up to my feet with everything that I've been through.
Okay.
And a lot of people who have heart transplants, actually, a lot of people would not know this, but they're quick to get up on their feet and do what it is that they need to do as well. But the fact is, I had septic shock. My whole body was sick. All of my organs were starting to shut down. Even like the oxygen to my brain, I didn't have enough oxygen.
Wow.
So my speech pattern was very messed up. In the mornings I would be fine, and in the afternoons I couldn't say anything. Wow. Literally, I sounded like someone who could have been mute. When they don't know what they're saying because they can't hear it.
Yeah.
So I heard everything I was trying to say, and they were asking me, do you know what you're trying to say? And I'm like, yes, just give me a pen and paper. But every evening for almost 2 weeks that happened. So now I still have slight cognitive issues with the speech and everything, but I'm in a much better place. There was a time I couldn't just stand up and cook. I'd cook the rice.
And you love to cook.
I'd cook some rice, and everything else be sitting up on the counter still. And I'm like, can y'all finish? Because I'm done.
Yeah.
But it's just good to know that it took a lot of time, but I'm back on my feet. I'm back to where I was. I'm actually better than where I was. Wow. And that's the best part about it.
And that's a blessing.
It is.
That's a blessing. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you share this video and it blesses someone. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.